Glamour, fun, escape, or abuse. Drug usage has always found its way into popular culture in the West. Western music culture has glorified and glamorized the use of drugs since the mid 1900s. With songs like Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix to Jim Morrison's drug influenced live performances, there is no dearth of drug inspired music in the West. Pakistani VJ Faizan explains the influence of drug use on the Western music industry.
You know, certain drugs became popular at a certain time with certain musical movements, you know, and then other things came on. I mean, the Doors and Bob Dylan may have been about marijuana, and flower power may have been associated with LSD, whereas today's crystal meth and such drugs are associated with music by Rage Against the Machine or Korn or other bands like Trent Reznor.
Drug culture is not restricted to music only. Cinema is another source influencing the young generation, with movies ranging from Trainspotting showing drug addiction at its worst to comedies like Harold and Kumar series. Western cinema features drug use in a host of different ways. Psychologists feel the diversity of drug use experiences shown in movies may confuse viewers on the issue.
The person who was watching that message has not seen the end. He gets up and he is very choosy. He selects whatever suits to him, whatever is cool to him. He likes to watch whatever is in line with his own philosophy about drug or whatever is in his life. So in the first place, this is something mockery of a message.
And then we get us a pound of pure and
The Pakistani music industry is not glorifying drugs. However, they are part of the lifestyle of musicians.
They're all exposed to drugs in some form or the other, Lots of school bands, kids write songs about, rolling a joint every morning and getting up and having a crazy day. But they're not on the mainstream. Abrarul Haq will not do that. He's big. He sells albums in Pakistan. The Vital Signs wouldn't have done.
Drug usage is not featured in Pakistani cinema and TV either. A senior journalist says heroin use became rampant after the 80s, but deliberate efforts have been made to not let the issue go on air.
These plays, which were actually attacking heroin peddlers and heroin addiction, the government thought that these plays are actually glorifying drugs, which wasn't true. Now, the real reason was that a lot of ministers and officials in the Zia regime were involved in this trade, and it was they who actually advised or asked the government to stop talking about this issue so much on mainstream television.
As far as mainstream media is concerned, the influence of drug use seems missing, but social critics feel there is a need to address the issue as a pressing concern openly.
Both politically and socially, I think now's the time to start talking about it. It can be terrorism, it can be drugs, it can be violence, it can be so many things. But so far, most mainstream musicians have shied away, and for reasons that can be anything, like they are not, let's say, there's some fear, the fear factor involved, then the reputation factor is also involved. So I don't see a song which has directly addressed this issue, at least.
Just watch.
The media has great power to influence young minds into accepting drug use as part of the socially acceptable lifestyle. Drug use issues are widespread in Pakistan but are often brushed under the carpet. Film and music critics both feel that talking about drugs in Pakistan is still a taboo, while the Western culture is sending a message which is confusing the young ones. The need, they say, in Pakistan is to talk about drugs as openly and as negatively as possible. This is Taha Siddiqui for Express 24/7, Karachi.